Gaming Bolt presents 20 survival horror and zombie games to look forward to in 2016. We have a lot to cover here, so let us jump right in. Outlast 2. The first Outlast was an incredibly tense, scare-riddled romp through a mysterious asylum. The upcoming sequel will explore new characters, settings, and events. It'll be set in the same universe as the original, so fans of the surprise horror hit will have much to look forward to. Call of Cthulhu. From the developers of the Sherlock Holmes series, Call of Cthulhu will be a love letter to fans of the Lovecraftian creature. While very little is known about the title, it has deep roots in the tabletop game of the same name, which in turn is inspired by the Call of Cthulhu novel. We Happy Few. We Happy Few has been making waves recently with its beautiful cartoonish art style and drug-fueled psychotic town. All of the inhabitants in this bizarre village wear white, grinning masks, staring at you as you pass by, and rushing you with pipes, needles, and a bevy of other weapons. The Walking Dead Season 3. The Walking Dead is a massive property, and Telltale translated the series into games in the perfect way. The third season is currently in the works, and while the second season couldn't live up to the high bar set by the first, hopefully Telltale has learned from their mistakes and can deliver a true masterpiece. Resident Evil 0. The Resident Evil series has been labeled as the true beginning to the survival horror genre. The game serves as a prequel to the original game, and centers on the STARS team that is decimated before Chris, Jill, and Wesker arrive. Class 4. Class 4 is the current code name for the follow-up to State of Decay. Seeing how it is a follow-up, we expect that the game will take the extremely strong foundation laid by State of Decay and make the game bigger, more diverse, and more multiplayer-focused. Last Year. A multiplayer game that is heavily inspired by Friday the 13th and other horror classics. Last Year is a 5 vs 1 multiplayer game that pits a group of teens against a crazed killer. The 5 players who assume the roles of teens will have to complete a series of objectives, working together to survive the deadly killer. Pamela. Pamela is a new survival horror game where your character seems to be the only one who has survived, and now you have to make your way through while trying to evade whatever lurks in the shadows. Routine. Set on an abandoned moon base, Routine is a first-person exploration horror game. You'll roam the facility, collecting audio tapes and uncovering the mystery of what happened. Because the entire game is based around exploration, the atmosphere is incredibly unsettling. The Forest. Another survival title with an unsettling twist, The Forest tasks you with building and collecting during the day and staying alive at night. With Rust-like gameplay, you will spend the majority of your time crafting shelters and weapons while the sun is up, and unleash hell on the mutants that swarm your location by night. Resident Evil Umbrella Corps. Umbrella Corps is the Resident Evil game no one asked for, but we're getting anyway. A team-based multiplayer game, it continues the series' trend of straying away from its survival horror roots. Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has a very similar premise to another game on this list, Last Year. It is an asymmetrical multiplayer game that pits 4 players taking on the roles of teens against one killer. While the game is still being kept under wraps, we can't wait to see what differentiates it from Last Year. OVERKILL'S The Walking Dead. A new game set in the Walking Dead universe, it revolves around new characters and will tell an all-new story. Nothing is known quite yet, but the game will feature a co-op campaign and looks to be a more mature take on the material than other games made out of the same property. Kodoku. Players will take control of a collector who travels to a strange island that is haunted by spirits. These sites will be discovered, and you will have to discover a way to quell the spirits. The crime scenes are soaked in blood, and the anime-style art still portrays a hauntingly dark scenario. Allison Road. After Silent Hills was cancelled and PT was removed from the PlayStation Store, fans took it upon themselves to carry on the game's legacy. With a very minimalistic storyline and a loop for players to solve, Allison Road not only praises PT, it also aims to expand upon the praised game. The game is well on its way to its Kickstarter goal as of this writing, and will release next year. Through the Woods. How far would a mother go to save her son? Through the Woods seeks to answer this question. Players will journey the retelling of a mother's story of how she braved the woods to find her child. The forest itself will be a major focus, dark and foreboding and terrifying to wander. What Remains of Edith Finch. What Remains of Edith Finch is presented as a series of stories, each revolving around a different member of the Finch family. Each story focuses heavily on themes of death and loss, with appropriately grotesque and somber visuals. The Hum: Abductions. A first-person horror game set inside a large sci-fi universe. You will take control of Holly Sanders, a wife and mother who is still trying to find out the truth behind her husband's disappearance. As players uncover the story, the truth will reveal itself and terrifying revelations will be discovered. Dollhouse. In Dollhouse, you delve into your own mind, but it's not as safe as you may think. Your conscience begins to hunt you down. You can see through its eyes, but this ability comes at a cost, and the pros and cons must be weighed in every situation. Sony Bend's mystery horror game. Nothing, not even a title, is known about the new horror game from Sony Bend. The developers of Siphon Filter clearly know a thing or two about tension, but we can't wait to see how the studio not only applies this knowledge to the horror genre, but how they take advantage of the power of the PS4. What games are you looking forward to? If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. Thank you, and see you soon.